You know, every single person who works at a company has this secret digital journey, from their very first day to their last. Today, we're going to break down how modern engineering wrangles this whole complex process. We're talking about making sure everything is secure and efficient, from the moment someone's hired all the way to when they retire.
So, what's the best way to wrap our heads around this? Well, it's this one super powerful idea. Every single employee, from the CEO all the way down to the brand new intern, has a digital twin that lives inside the company's network.
Okay, so what is this digital twin, really? Think of it as everything that makes you, at work, digitally speaking. It's your email account, your access to the company's servers, your login for the payroll system, all your permissions for the software you use. And managing the life of this twin, it is not just some boring IT chore. Nope, it's absolutely crucial for keeping the entire organization secure and productive.
All right, so the journey always starts at the very beginning, right? Day one. This is what we call the joiner phase. It's literally the birth of that digital twin. And trust me, getting this part right is everything.
Think about it. The second a new hire gets officially entered into the company's HR system, that one little event kicks off this whole chain reaction of automated actions. It's the spark that builds their digital twin completely from scratch. So, a modern setup for a new hire? It's really got three things that are totally non-negotiable. First, it's got to be HR triggered, because HR is the single source of truth for who works there. Second, it has to be fully automated. We're talking zero manual IT tickets. And third, it's got to be rule-based, so the system just knows what access to give someone based on their job type.
And that whole rule-based idea, that brings us to this really cool concept called birthright access. This is the basic starter pack of tools and permissions that every person in a specific job needs to get to work. So if you're a new salesperson in the London office, bam! The system automatically gives you a login to the CRM, access to the UK sales folder, and everything else you need. The goal? To make sure you can hit the ground running from minute one on your first day.
But let's be real, people don't just stay put, do they? They get promotions, they switch teams, they move around, and in this mover phase, that digital twin has to evolve right there with them.
And this is where things get really interesting and kind of tricky. So someone moves from, say, marketing over to product development. All their old access is pretty much useless now, and they need a completely new set of tools. So how should a system handle that switch, cleanly and securely?
Well, you've got two roads you can go down here. There's the right way, which is entitlement recalculation. The system basically wipes the slate clean and gives them the exact access they need for the new job. And then there's the really, really dangerous way, additive access. That's where you just bolt the new permissions right on top of the old ones.
And this lazy, additive approach, it leads to this huge security nightmare called privilege creep. Over a few years, an employee just collects this tangled mass of permissions, giving them access to all sorts of data they have no business seeing anymore. Every single one of those unnecessary permissions is just another open door for potential security breach.
Okay, and now we get to the last stage. This is probably the most critical, most time-sensitive part of the whole life cycle, the leaver. When someone leaves the company, their digital twin has got to be shut down, cleanly, completely, and instantly. There's just no room for error here.
So, picture this. The exact second that termination gets processed in HR, what absolutely has to happen? Not a minute later, not an hour later, I mean right then and there. You've got three things that are absolutely non-negotiable. Boom, boom, boom. First, real-time revocation. You disable all their accounts immediately. Second, token invalidation. This is like canceling their digital passport. It makes all their saved logins and cookies totally useless. And third, session kill. This one forcibly kicks them out of any app they're logged into at that moment. And all three have to happen at the exact same time. And what happens if you screw this up? Well, that's when you get these things called orphan and zombie accounts. These are active accounts with no owner. They basically become digital ghosts haunting your network, forgotten, unlocked doors, just waiting for a hacker to find them.
Okay, so we've walked through the whole journey, right? The joiner, the mover, the leaver, we get the what. Now let's get into the how. How do you actually engineer a system that can handle all this without falling apart?
Again, you've got two ways to build this. The old school way is what we call point-to-point automation, and honestly, it's a total mess. It's like this fragile spiderweb of custom scripts connecting everything. If one little script breaks, the whole thing can fall apart without anyone even noticing. The modern way, the strategic solution, is lifecycle orchestration. You have one central, smart system that's like the conductor of an orchestra, making sure every single step happens in exactly the right order every single time.
So what's the engine that makes all this modern orchestration work? It really boils down to three key pieces of tech. It's event-driven, which just means it reacts automatically to things, like a new hire event. It uses message queues to put all these tasks in a neat line so nothing ever gets lost. And it talks to all the other apps using APIs, which are basically secure, official doorways for systems to communicate.
And that's really the big idea here, isn't it? A properly engineered identity lifecycle system isn't just about cleaning up messes after they happen. It's a proactive strategy. It's about building a process that's so solid, so reliable, that those dangerous orphan accounts, those digital ghosts, don't even get a chance to exist in the first place.
And just to leave you with something to chew on, this whole conversation, it's not just about people anymore. Right now, we're creating digital workers, AI agents, bots, automations that also need identities and access to do their jobs. So the big question for the future is, how are we going to take these exact same principles and use them to manage their life cycles, from the moment they're created to the moment they're turned off?